taste right.
Mm.
Right? Well, I don't need no salt in no cake because I got sugar. You gonna put that salt in that cake ain't gonna taste right.
Mm.
The salt gonna balance those sweets out with the grains that you put into the food. Right? I don't need no egg. I got milk. That motherfucker gonna fall apart. It ain't gonna even stick together. Right?
Right.
When you learn these things, it's also teaching you alchemy. Right? When you are masculine, when you're going into the masculine, you're thinking left brain already anyway. The learning to cook by recipe is learning alchemy in the left brain, but you being taught from the right side. The mother is teaching you. And this is why mama's the master.
Right.
And the master gonna raise a master.
Let's get to a couple of questions before we get out of here, Rod. Listen, man, this is fire, Rod. I definitely appreciate you coming on here, man, and dropping it like this, man. Man, family, I was talking to this brother, man. We got like I was gonna do like 3 other shows before this show. We was talking about the black Neanderthals. We was talking about the what's that called? The
Cro-Magnon.
the Cro-Magnon, the nuclear winter. Rod was breaking out all types of shit to me on the phone, and then right before we hung up, he brought this up, and I'm like, "Yo, Rod, we gotta talk about this." So, yeah, it is what it is, man. I appreciate this talk. I'm excited. These are like some exciting times we live in, family. Let's get to a couple of questions. Let me see what's going on. Let me hit up the super chat first. These are more okay. Peace gods, Chief Rod. When you say to forget war, learn to love, should we still learn technical awareness in the martial arts? How do we deal with those types of adversaries out of love?
Look, it's better to be a warrior working in the fields than to be a farmer in the fight. You understand what I'm saying? You still, those things is self-development tools. You can still use the study and the warfare and the learning of combat as a tool of self-development, which is shifting you into your spiritual developmental mindset. Then the martial arts is also a dance. It's a ballet. Like when you learn Tai Chi, it's a ballet. But the trick is to turn the ballet into Demok, the death touch. You have to know the shifting of the energy. But once you learn the ballet, you know the martial art. You just got to know how to shift it from ballet to combat, right? So warriors learn the war and then they fight for the love. That's what the whole idea of shifting from your war story to your love story comes into play. It's the delirium of the saints with the energy frequency of the love, the admiration. So it don't mean that you shouldn't learn how to defend. It just means that while the frequency is upgrading, you need to be in a higher conscious state, an elevated mental, emotional state to receive the greatest benefit. That's all.
Okay, excellent. Mia sent me says, what percentage of women are part of the 144,000?
The 144,000 is a Masonic biblical code, and it has nothing to do with what's really about to happen. It's 12 times 1,200 that make the 144,000. And all that is the zodiacs, the 12 zodiac seats, and it's telling you that it need a certain amount of them at each zodiac sign on a certain frequency. But it's the code. The code means one angel sent. Thou sent one angel. But they use it as 144,000 as an anagram in a numerical homonym. It's trickery in the highest degree.
Indeed. Rod, they want to know this sister here Says, will a black mama attract a white woman to her son?
If she don't want her son to be part of the racist agenda, she will.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
If she think that that girl gonna love her son unconditionally, that's more important than what she look like.
Mm. Mm-hmm. When you talk about the source codes and women being an antenna, is this something that more so applies to the black women in the world, or is this all women across the spectrum?
Well, every uterus is in mitochondria is the recipients of the source code by nation. The first nation, or the ancient ones, are those dark mothers, those black Madonnas.
Mm-hmm.
It's 12 daughters of Isis that represent the other ethnic groups of people around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And they are different skin tones and hair textures. Their big mamas will receive source codes the same as our big mamas. Our big mamas will just get more data because they have a stronger connection to both creation and the earth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They operating by the addition of the higher carbon density, which is the primordial noon or dark matter of the great mother.
Right.
So that's why they get the data, the most data first, because they are more closely tied to first creation.
Right. Definitely. Let's see. Shout out to Afro Goddess. She wants to know what goddess will rule over the golden age.
It will start, but the goddesses don't always choose to rule the entire duration, and they pass it like a baton to one of their sisters, right? So you will look at the hierarchy that they have in Egypt. So you have Aset, that's known as Isis. Mm-hmm. She is the first at the top of the pyramid of sisters that's heirs to the throne. Second is Sekhmet. It's Het Heru. Right? The male side, Heru is the heir. On the female side, Het Heru is the heir. She's the next in line, and then Sekhmet. Right? Now, Sekhmet can come in ahead of Het Heru if she's coming in wartime as a war priestess. Mm-hmm. Right? But if she come in peacetime, it'll come through Het Heru, the peace goddess. Mm-hmm. Right? So they have different functions. But as they, so it's no one, the titles are, those seats are titles for the next in line sequencing of the hierarchy. Mm-hmm. All of those names you hear out of Egypt, Ra, Osiris, Set, Isis, Het Heru or Hathor, Set, those are titles. Mm-hmm. And they represented by, most of the time, a totem animal, and some of them are represented by human-like god form with some type of magical implements from the Heka associated with them as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This brother wants to know, are you really losing a fraction of your prana every time you ejaculate, or can go do practice to replenish with no negatives even if you ejaculate?
Look, you have practices for different purposes. The real purpose of learning the semen retention is to be able to bring the waterfalls of heaven down before you lose your erection. In other words, you're supposed to make the female orgasm before you orgasm, or else she won't reach a climax and you complicate the energy, which comes out in your relationship as a bitter ass woman. Right? So you ejaculating, your body gonna replenish that energy. It has to. As long as your mitochondrial is working properly, you will always replenish the energy that you surrender into the world. Right? So the semen retention is a training program. to become a more valued sexual partner for your mate. Kama Sutra.
I love how you keep talking about this training program, Rod, and this simulation. It makes total sense. That whole concept resonated a lot with me, man. When you think about our purpose being down here, and when you think about the planes and the simulation, and you act like you flying a plane, but you're really not, that should make total sense, man. Let's do. We're gonna do about 3 more questions. You got time for 3 more questions, Rod?
I'm here.
All right, let's do about 3 more questions. Somebody wants to know, will you be teaching any classes? This is not one of the 3 questions, but will you be teaching any classes, Rod?
When we come back on, when our system come online, because they ain't finna get me caught up in this cult shit. so when our system come back online, yeah, I'm gonna be having rites of passage programs. I'm gonna be training teachers and doulas. We're gonna be doing we're gonna have a big, like a university of holistic medicine, inviting doctors from around the world to come and teach what they know. We're gonna be sending doulas around the world to go work with other doulas in order to learn the ancient birthing practices and upgrade them and implement them into modern healthcare. We're going to be training children to use their psychic abilities at an earlier age so that they can be a bigger powerhouse for the future. So all this stuff is going to be part of the programs when our system come online. But as long as these people is in power, I ain't finna put my head out there like that. I teach online. They won't never call me a cult leader and come running up in this motherfucker with the SWAT team.
Crazy.
They keep calling me Rod the Madman. As long as they don't call me a cult leader, I'm cool.
Oh man. Let's see. Okay, Rod. Felicia wants to know, do you have to be in the sunlight to get the codes? Weather has been cloudy in California, Rod.
Look, them codes coming in.
Right.
The sun codes are already been coming in. They've been coming in on solar flares and wind and solar storms for the last year and a half. And people been going through different roller coasters of ascension symptoms that they thinking they've been sick. They weren't sick, they was getting upgraded. Yeah. And when the sickness go away, you feel better than you did before you were sick. All of this is part of it. Some people might choose to be breatharians after this. Some people might not. Right? But the whole thing is to find the true balance of Earth between the men, the women, and the universe. The alignment becomes critical when you download. The source code can penetrate everything that you see. The solar rays, they go straight to the core of the Earth and filter through the people going in and coming out, because the Earth is the sun is asking the Earth a question about the people. So those are your incoming solar flares and solar storms. And when the Earth answers, it sends a frequency back through the people that delivers the answer back to the center of the solar system. Then when the source codes come in, they come in directly from prime source center of the galaxy, right? This is where the greatest draw is to the central point in our little part of creation called the Milky Way. Only thing I can't figure out is who took the fucking picture of the Milky Way. I can't figure that shit out. We in the Milky Way. That's like trying to take a picture of the outside of your house from being inside. How the hell they do that? I ain't figured it out yet.
So, Rod, so the people in me I could understand this better. Right. So we got source code, that's from the prime creator, Big Mama, and we got sun codes. If we're getting the source code, that's a direct communication. what relationship does the sun code have to the source code? You know, like, is Big Mama, is that her brother? Is that her nephew? Is that her cousin? Like, who would sun be sun
So
code?
to use it in the same way that the Masons use it, Fiat Lux, let there be light, is the sun. That's the widow's son.
Uh-huh.
The source, that's Big Mama. That's the widow. They work together. Nothing can move in the changing of the guard until the widow find her son, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's when the source codes begin to talk to the solar rays, and we play it out in the flesh, right? And it happens in the stars as above, so below. We just walking in the pattern that we reading the energy from the stars.
Right.
All the people of the earth make up the total number of stars you see in the sky.
Right.
Right. So at least the ones that's in visual sight. The ones that's going to be born later, you probably can't even see their star yet.
Mm.
Right. So they'll run those codes. Those are star codes. Right. And the Milky Way galaxy is the accumulation of stardust that formed into what we see in front of us.
Interesting.
Right.
Let's get to another question, y'all. Let's get to another question. I'm a while Rod is answering this next question, I'm gonna post that video that Rod sent me. I got the full video. I'm gonna post it in the chat for y'all. I seen somebody asked about it. Somebody said, what about this polar vortex coming next week? What's that about, Rod? You heard about that?
I haven't looked into it yet.
Okay.
But I think that's that cold front. They warning about that freezing cold front. The Earth is terraforming right now. Yeah. It's literally in real time terraforming. You could see grass in Mecca in the desert. It's all green pastures, right? Then in certain places that was barren, there's water springs sprouting up. And certain places that was lush greenery getting mudslides. The earth is changing. And a lot of the women can feel it.
Yeah, you know how you talk about I'm trying to find this link for the people. You know how you talk about you was talking about Arizona. Yeah, it's funny. As soon as I'm about to talk about Iceland, this person that's how this synchronicity. What the hell is the deal? You talk about Arizona being where the ancient Egyptians was and shit like that. What's up with Iceland, man? I got this interconnection to Iceland. What was Iceland in antiquity, man? I fucks with Iceland. I want to go there, man. Any info about Iceland?
You need to get Ivan Van Sertima African presence in early America. Because he talk about the pygmy people that used to live in the underground in Iceland and Greenland.
Okay.
Right. They're not there no more.
Right. I was talking to Billy the other day about a couple of weeks ago. We did a show. And the solar flares that the sun erupts. What is when a volcano explodes, erupts? What can you attribute that to? Is something going on in the inner earth or the inner sun that's causing?
You ever had a pimple before?
Yeah.
That's your volcano on your face. The volcano is getting rid of, it's a pressure release valve. They all over the planet. Right. If you got a magma layer under the plates and the magma layer is cooking.
Right.
And is melting the plates. Right. And so it builds up pressure over time. And it breaks out in a sore, a pimple. Right. And the more pressure, when it break out, the greater the eruption. You've seen people with pimples that ooze.
Right.
Yeah, that's a volcano just running over. Comparative analysis will always help you understand a little bit better.
Yeah, wow. Family, I just posted the link. You check out this video, you'll be able to estimate the exact time of this window, this 6-hour window that's going down on the 15th. Y'all can do all the homework on yourselves, but I just gave y'all all the keys right there. So check that out. And just for more information on this alignment that Rod is talking about that's happening, once again, shout out to Rod for sending me that video. But definitely check out that that video. We're gonna take one more question. What time is it? Then we're gonna get out of here. Let's see. All right, this brother wants to know. I've seen this question a couple of times. Should we still pursue worldly goals at this time, such as fitness, building wealth, getting certifications, etc.?
Any self-improvement is encouraged. Anything you can learn it. Right? The only thing that I would say is don't let nobody trick you into signing no paperwork. It's paper chain.
Right.
The rest of it, go get your knowledge. Go get, physical fitness is part of overall healthcare or self-care. The better physically fit you are, the less likely you are to have a critical ailment.
Indeed. All right. Listen, with that being said, and I want to share the brothers, we about to get out of here. Let me share the brothers Cash App one more time before I get out of here, because I seen somebody else had mentioned it, but I didn't want to interrupt the show. Sick. Oh shit. Hold up, y'all. $SIKAPE. Once again, for those who asked a little while ago for the brothers Cash App, if y'all would like to show the brother gratitude, he talked about gratitude. His Cash App is $, capital SIK, capital APE. All right, family. I appreciate it. We got almost 4,000 people in the chat. I appreciate everybody for coming out. What a show, y'all. What a show. Y'all got the link in the chat. Watch this over if y'all need to. Sisters, Rod told y'all sisters what y'all need to be doing out there. You know what I'm saying? Go to the spa if you can. Brothers, y'all know what y'all got to do. We got our assignment today, y'all. We got our assignment. Rod, before we get out of here, how can they contact you? You on Instagram? Where you at, Rod?
It's easier to find me on Instagram, but my Facebook, I'll be there too. Rod Hayes on Facebook. My profile picture change often. And it's the SikApe on Instagram. The same as my Cash App with THE in front of it.
Indeed. All right. With that being said, I want to thank everybody. Rod, thank you once again, my brother, for coming through. A great conversation with you the other day. Great conversation tonight, as always, my brother. Look forward to seeing you again soon, my brother. And enjoy the 15th, my brother. Enjoy that window. Tap in, my brother.
I just want to know what's gonna happen. Because I don't know what it's gonna look like.
Yeah.
Indeed. And what the rollout.
I was talking to Rod Hayes on the phone. Call the brother. Always ask the brother. Well, first of all, I want to thank Rod Hayes for participating. He's contributing a poem type vibe to the meditation album on the Blueprint for God Power 2. I tell you, I got 3 tracks. Billy got 3 tracks. Dr. B Serious got 3 tracks. One of my tracks is going to be featuring Rod Hayes. I heard the brother rhyme one day on a live, and I just put it in the back of my mind. I'm like, all right, this brother rhyme. I gotta talk to him about that one day. And I'm gonna work with the brother in the future on more projects. This is the first one. It's gonna be called Letter to Big Mama, Message to Big Mama, something around those lines, but it'll be coming soon. So shout out to everybody who got tickets. You definitely gonna enjoy it. I look forward to getting it for Rod and working on it and doing it. So yeah, it's fun, real fun. But Rod, we had a good talk the other day on the phone. We was talking about I forgot what I had originally called you for, but we ended up talking about Inky and dinosaurs and all types of stuff, man, in such a short amount of time. I'm like, yo, Rod, I gotta get you on the show. I got a show on Thursday. Today's on Wednesday, but I was like, I gotta get you before my show because I just wanted to get this out there. Let's start out with this, Rod. Let's start out like this. Let me put this on the screen. Let me see, where's this at? I want to read something real quick about dinosaurs and dragons. About dragons and dinosaurs, and is dinosaurs a myth? And did we used to, just talk to me about that. We start out like that, just like how we did on the phone the other day, brother. What's going on with that?
Yeah, well, dinosaurs is one of the cycles that we went through, right? And it was because of the Andromeda beings.
The dinosaurs or dragons? What?
It's the same thing.
Same thing.
Remember, the word dinosaur is only like 150, 200 years old at the most.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So before that, we was calling dinosaurs dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look at what they show us as the dinosaurs. They show us in the cartoon taming dragons that we was going up to the nest, stealing the eggs, hatching the eggs, raising the dinosaurs, learning how to ride them.
Right.
Right. In the Avatar, they show us riding dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference is in Avatar, they have their hair connects to a part of the animal for them to communicate. We do it telepathically.
Right.
So one of the reasons they started gator baiting in the South was because those are the Sobek priests that was on the land used to ride around on alligators.
Say that one more time.
The Sobek priests from the South. When we say Sobek priests, that means the priests who hold alligators and crocodiles as a sacred totem animal and interact with them in such a manner.
Right.
Would be called priests of Sobek. Sobek is the spirit god of the alligator. So like out of all of the alligators, when you tune into them and they collective unconscious manifest as Sobek in human form. Right? So the human responsible for the caretaking of the alligators and the crocodiles or the crocodilians of the world would be classified as Sobek priests. They are probably the oldest line of priests that's still functional. Right? Like in just a tribe in Africa that's a Sobek tribe was what we would call them. They live with crocodiles. If they baby fall in the water, the crocodile bring them back up and put them on the bank if he drowning. But if you do that in the Nile, your ass is dinner. Right? But if you do that where they at and you from that clan, they got to understanding not to eat the human. Right? And they swim with them, fish by them, ride them. Wow. They have old pictures of people riding, drawings of people riding the backs of alligators and crocodiles. This is because this practice was interrupted with the Gullah Wars. So they start gator baiting the gators with the babies in order to get the gators with the taste of our flesh, because they wouldn't eat us. They would eat the imposters, the invaders, but if we was laying there dead, they wouldn't eat us. So the invaders started using the babies, and they didn't just throw them out to the alligators. They would cut them open and throw them in the alligator mouth, and then his nature take place. And then over time, they lose their sense of connection to the people they used to ride them. Right now, you see what they call gator farmers incorporating pale faces in the priesthood of Sobek. And they walk around, play with them alligators, but they know how to respect them and stay out that damn snapper. Right? But then you got some, like it's a Sobek priest in South America who live with his crocodile, saltwater crocodile. He left his family and moved into a hut on the river so he could live with his crocodile. Like the crocodile come out, crawl up in the hut with him, and they sleep next to each other. Crazy shit. But it's the communication on the frequency that he's able to control the interaction on a spiritual level where the crocodile don't see him as prey. I don't know if you know it, but you got blue eyes right now on the screen.
Yeah, that's because of the blue light glasses. The blue light, it gives off that blue light. But yeah, that's deep, Rod. What so talk to me about this dinosaur. So we figured out, okay, so dinosaur dragons were used can be used interchangeably. You talked about the dragons, and we see it all in all the movies, even Game of Thrones, we see them riding the dragons or whatever. In terms of Inky and his connection with the dragons and what you was telling me,
he made him in the laboratory for Earth to be a safari for the Andromeda beings.
Inky made dragons in a laboratory so Earth could be a safari for the Andromedan beings.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a treaty, a peace treaty between the matriarchal Andromeda queen, hive queen, and Isis. So back then, see, all of these are cycles. We have to have a script that describes the cycles. In this script, they wrote it in. It's a treaty between Andromeda and Earth. They was given a period of time to come and hunt the great lizards, the giant lizards.
Right.
Right, because they wanted challenging game.
Right.
They didn't use, like, for instance, in the movie Predator. If you go to Predator versus Alien with Sanaa Lathan, this is what made them, like, they end up bonding a pact with the Earth women. So the Earth women got invaded by the aliens now. So the Predator beings, the Andromeda beings, become allies in the war against the new reptilian aliens, which is actually from they Syrians, but they Syrian exiles.
Why did they get exiled?
For the same shit they get in exile from Earth. Not giving respect to the rules of the planet and trying to use universal rules to usurp the rules to the Earth. So you try to use the higher rules in the wrong way, and it takes away free will in a free will universe because you turn it upside down and backwards. So the people believe they're using free will, but it's an illusion that's created by the invader to subjugate the people and to absorb their essence, so to speak. It's, galactic warfare.
Yeah, no, it seems that way. Yeah.
And they've been telling us about the war in heaven. Right? The war in heaven play out in ancient Egypt as Set versus Osiris. The bird people versus the reptile people. Right? So it's reenacted over and over again until somebody saw the problem. And then you go to a whole new set of systems in new cycles. Right? The next system, the sun cycle comes in, which means it has to deliver us a golden age. So the seeds of the moon cycle is gestating in order to produce the bounty for the sun cycle.
Okay.
Right? So you're going from winter to summer. This is the transitional period, spring. Right? So all of the things that we put into motion by the conditions of the old cycle, we can now cash the karma in to pay for the next future. Right? And then that's why the old ones have to be at the bottom and the new ones have to be on top, because the new ones come in with no karma. They got to create good and bad karma.
Right. Okay.
Right? Because they got to try to get into a cycle that allows them ascension. But it's a whole lot of other stuff, genetics at play, spiritual development, all of these different things is at work at the same time. Right? So this is why life is three-dimensional when you live in it, but when you outside of the body, it's two-dimensional. And that's why you can read your book of life using out-of-body experience.
Because it's like literally like reading a book. Because the book is
Yeah, you can see the whole timeline now. Like looking at the script of a movie or looking at a film of a movie, holding it up, you can see whole scenes at a time.
So our ancestors that moved on, like let's say my mother passed away, so she can see my whole timeline right now.
She can see the whole timeline from beginning to end.
So that's why we ask our ancestors for help, because they know the timeline.
They're not restricted by the confines of time,
right,
or
right,
space.
Right.
They in energy state.
Yeah.
And from the energy state, we have a secondary creation part that we go to coming into the physical. And this is where you see your whole life before you take on the form to determine if this is the one that you want to deal with.
You know, quick question. This is a little off topic, but I had Billy on yesterday, Billy Carson. Since we talking about ancestors, you know how spirits take over bodies sometime, or
walk-ins.
Yeah, walk-ins or whatever. Can spirits walk in with the element of fire? Like, you know, we like to meditate in front of fire, candles and shit like that. Can spirits take over the flame of a fire, and that's what makes that flame so meditative? And because it seems like we get information while we're looking at this flame. That shit, I love meditating in front of a candle. That shit, I don't know what it is, but it seems like I'm getting like some super duper downloads. Is that an ancestors communicating me directly through that fire?
That fire element, go back to the cartoon Avatar with Aang. Remember Aang?
Yeah.
Okay, he had to master all 4 elements before he can get the final element of ether. Right? This is what you're doing when you're dealing with the focal point of fire, earth, air, and water, is you focus on a part of your own inner magic.
Okay.
As you become, once you get those 4 down, the combination of them makes you have to now work from the ether. Working with ether is where they call metaphysics. It's the quantum field, the quantum level. Right. So it's each one of them, water, earth, air, and fire, is the 4 elements, and they also represent the 4 cardinal directions. Right. The 5th cardinal direction that's represented by the ether is straight up. What they call Polaris, the North Star. Right, straight up. So if you straight up and you in the center and you made a 360 in development, you've seen the whole field and the terrain. Now you got to get a bird's eye view, so you have to go to the ether to see it. Right, as above, so below. So now all you have to do is reverse engineer what you see on Earth by looking up and imagine what's being projected to the Earth on the ground. And this is how they teach you how to navigate by the stars. This all it is to formulate the mind to do a conceptual physics formula by looking at the position of stars and the position that they is on the planet. And you know where you at on the planet by the position of the stars.
Right.
That's why they call it navigation.
Got you.
But Navy gates.
Navy gates. So to get back to the whole dragon thing, right. So how did this whole experiment, you said Inky invented the dragons in the laboratory. How did this whole dragon experiment work out for Inky and the Andromedans? What ended up happening with the dragons, Andromedan beings?
The contract expired, right? Yeah. When the contract expired, now they create an artificial ice age, a nuclear winter.
Who created this?
This was it was gonna happen anyway, because it's the war of the Anunnakis fighting each other, family feuding on Earth. The war on heaven landed on Earth. That shit ain't got nothing to do with us. That's the family feud of some beings from another place, and they want us to think they some holy divine entities.
Yeah.
And they want us to pick sides in their conflict.
Yeah.
Right. It's a war between the 2 sons of the king fighting for the throne.
Yeah.
Right. So they get parts of the kingdom appointed to each one of them according to their skill set and capabilities. right? But the wise general going to always have somebody that can do a function that the other general can do that he can't. So he can delegate that aspect. It's the same thing in the military on Earth. It's the same thing in the gangs, which is tribes, right? It's part of the cultural dynamic, but they play it out in regimented form in order to confuse your mind because we trapped in cycles. So they run us through straight lines in the circle, so all we doing is catching up to our tail. We ain't never really making progress. We just going in circles. And we laugh at the dog that chases his tail, but we chase ours all the time.
We're doing the same thing. Wow. So the Andromedan beings, you said they had a matriarchy system. Is that like an all-female planet, or how does it work?
It's a matriarchy. Women are the lawgivers. The men enforce the law. Right? In a patriarchal system, the man is a dictator because he has to hold his position above all other men by force. In the matriarchy, you don't have to you don't win by force. You win by love and respect. Most love, most respected gets the position. Right? So you develop yourself to be the most loved, the most respected.
Yeah.
Right. That's how you gain. That's how we become chiefs. First, you got to have the blood and the right. Then you got to put in the work so that you can have something to offer that don't nobody else got to offer.
Right.
And whatever you got to offer that can't nobody else do, you the chief of that.
Yeah.
Right. This is why in the industry, the entertainment industry, they steal the rights from the artists. That's really what the selling of the soul is. You giving up your soul essence for somebody else's financial gain. That's your creation. The things that you bring into fruition from your higher consciousness into the 3D realm. And now they capitalizing on it in the capitalist society. And all of the capital is capital gains. And then they get relief from capital gains taxes so that they never have to feel the pangs of poverty. Right? So this is the vision tool. Right? So all of these things we're looking at, they are taking what's natural to us and weaponizing it against us. And this is how we end up where we at now.
Yeah. Okay.
Trying to come from up under it.
Right. So I did a show with you and Billy talking about Earth rovers in the human body. So you talked about cycles. So in that cycle, was Dragons the Earth rover? Because this is just a hologram. We're really, we're multidimensional. So
they had people walking around with dinosaurs. They weren't just dinosaurs. We was back there too.
No, but the actual dragons, did we use them as rovers from a higher state of consciousness like we use the human body?
No.
Okay.
We use the same organic, or what we call arm, leg, arm, head. The same Allah design of the current physiology, but it probably was bigger and more robust, like Australopithecus, or Australorobustus. When you look them ancient, you understand they was a much more sturdy species of human. Everything we didn't been everything you could think of. We've been through those cycles. We always are able to communicate with all of the other species of the planet telepathically if we just understand them. That's the prerequisite. That's why you study the thing that you think is your totem animal, because the more you know about it, the more it opens up what's called the sympathetic link. I'm sorry, go ahead. That's the beginning of telepathy. Right. So if I want to, I can lay in the bed and meditate on an eagle. If it's an eagle anywhere where they can lay eyes on what I want to see, I can see it through the eagle's eye.
So the eagle's your totem animal, right?
One of them. I got a lot of totem animals. I'm like Dr. Doolittle.
What's another one?
The gorilla.
That's why the SikApe. That's why you got the SikApe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my prime totem.
Right.
I got several bird totems, but the gorilla is my prime totem, coming from my father's line.
Right.
My mother's line, it would have been the elephant, but I'm like my father's son. I'm my mama's boy, but I'm my daddy's son. That's the monkey riding in the town on the elephant. They didn't know he was gonna grow up to be a fucking gorilla. All the time they thought he was a chimp and tried to treat him like a chump until he bite their face off.
Well, what Jay-Z said, little monkey nigga turned gorilla. That's what Jay-Z said. Reasonable doubt. So C Dick said like remote viewing. So when you talk about this totem animal, and you talked about this remote viewing through the totem out, right?
Yeah. Only they can see in real time anything that's in eye shot of them.
Yeah. When
I go to the zoo, I can feel the gorilla heart beating wherever I'm at in the zoo.
Yeah.
I'm clubbing close enough proximity, I can feel his heartbeat. The irony of it is certain dudes that was locked up, when I got close to them, I could feel their heartbeat the same way. It's kind of spooky when you first experience it, but after you figure out what you're going through, it makes perfect sense. It's a sympathetic link from a common totem. Like if I be around lions, that's my father's totem as a Leo, but his family line is the giraffe off his mother line, right? So I can tune in to them animals as